good evening, pro wrestling fans from all over the world, of all shapes and sizes. Welcome to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, for this video, I'm going to be giving my review of NXT Stand and Deliver 2024. Yep. Big NXT PLE WrestleMania weekend. This took place April 6th. So last week, this was at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And we had 7 matches, including a certain appearance in the crowd of a certain new WWE superstar, and an announcement of a brand new championship that will be debuting. So, quite a lot. Before we get started, be sure to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty. Check out some awesome video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. And don't forget to use the promo code BLITZBALL_champ, all in caps. Use that promo code when you're shopping. You can get 10% off of your order. So, happy shopping. Okay. We had 7 total matches for this show. So, let's go ahead and get started with our first match. Here, I got my notes up. Now I just got to get my graphics up. 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. I can't seem to find my cursor. Ah, there it is. All right. Alright, now we can get started. Okay, we started off with a singles match between Shawn Spears and Joe Gacy. Now, the interesting thing about this is during Joe Gacy's entrance, he gets attacked from behind by Ridge Holland, who joined with the commentary group for the pre-show. You know, the host of NXT Stand and Deliver. But yeah, hit Joe Gacy in the back with a chair, and then just kind of walked off. Just random. Just randomly did that during his entrance. I don't know why, but yeah. So, that happened to Joe Gacy during his entrance. As far as the match, match was okay. I mean, wasn't really anything crazy. These two have been kind of going back and forth. But, excuse me, I was kind of surprised at the finish, as Joe Gacy actually got the victory, pinning Shawn Spears after hitting him with an upside down, inside out. But yeah, I feel like Shawn Spears has lost quite a bit since returning to NXT. Of course, you know, last time he was in NXT, he was the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. But, yeah, I just kind of noticed that. Like, he's lost a few matches since his return. So, I don't know. I just found that kind of strange. Really kind of strange. But Joe Gacy picks up the victory in the opening match over Shawn Spears. Alright, next up, we had our first championship match of the show. Alrighty, we had the NXT Tag Team Championships, excuse me, on the line. As the champions, the War Dogs, or excuse me, not War Dogs, Wolf Dogs. The Wolf Dogs of Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker, defending the tag titles against the duo of Nathan Frazer and Axiom. Of course, Nathan Frazer and Axiom got off to a good start. You know, got off to a preemptive strike on the Wolf Dogs. And you know, this was a great match. This was a really great match. And you know, I was really digging it from start to finish. But here's the weird thing. Here's the really weird thing. So, the Wolf Dogs did win the match. Of course, Corbin hit an end of days on Axiom, and then Bron Breakker speared Nathan Frazer, pinned him for the win. So they retained the tag titles, but then they turn around, and just yesterday on the episode of NXT post Stand and Deliver, they get another shot. Whereas if Axiom and Nathan Frazer lose, they must disband as a tag team. And they end up beating them and becoming new NXT tag team champions. And supposedly now, Bron Breakker is going to be moving off of NXT to SmackDown full time. But here's my thing. Why couldn't they have just pulled the trigger at Stand and Deliver? Like, why do that, the NXT, like, right afterwards? Like, that really didn't make sense to me. That really did not make sense to me. Like, I feel like if this was how Bron Breakker was going to go out, I felt like they should have lost at Stand and Deliver. I really do. I think they should have lost. Because it just... it just didn't make sense to me for them to have a rematch plus that stipulation and then have Axiom and Frazer win. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have done that personally. I would have had the Wolf Dogs lose at Stand and Deliver. But that's just me. So, yeah, that was kind of weird that it went down that way. Alright, next match. This was another good one. So this was for the NXT North American Championship. Triple threat. We had Femi defending the title against Dijak and Josh Briggs. Good match overall. I like all three of these guys, of course. I really like what Dijak was doing before he had the gimmick change. But I don't know, man. I'm at this point, I just don't see them really doing anything or going anywhere with Dijak in NXT anymore. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I mean, he's had opportunity after opportunity and just... it hasn't gone anywhere. Hasn't gone anywhere, so I don't know. I'm starting to lose hope on them doing anything with Dijak. Josh Briggs, I really like excuse me. I really like how they're building up Josh Briggs now as a single star. This was somebody that I watched a lot back when he used to be in Evolve, and I've even met him before. Really cool guy. But I really like how they've been showcasing him as a single star. I had been waiting for that to finally happen in NXT. The match was solid. Really, really good. Excuse me. When it looked like it was either going to come down to Josh Briggs or Dijak, Femi comes in at the last moment, which, we thought he had been taken out on the outside, but comes in at the last moment and ended up powerbombing Dijak onto Josh Briggs and then pinning Josh Briggs for the 1-2-3 to retain the NXT North American Championship. So, Femi, stand strong, still your North American champion. But it looks like he's going to be going into an angle with Ivar, who just returned to NXT. So that should be interesting. That should be really interesting. Good for Ivar. I like Ivar. But yeah, good for Ivar. All right. Next up, the ladies. Alrighty, we had a trios match. We had the team of Kiana James, Jacy Jayne, and Izzi Dame taking on the trio of Fallon Henley, Thea Hale, and Kelani Jordan. First off, very talented ladies. And one thing they did say, definitely the women's division in NXT is really, really growing. There's a lot of talent being showcased. We got a lot of ladies returning. I mean, Sol Ruka not that long ago returned to action. And we're seeing a lot more of the ladies being showcased. Jada Parker just recently had a match on NXT. So I think we're starting to see more and more of the women's division in NXT blossom. So, got to give them credit for that. But these ladies did good overall. This was really my first time really focusing on Izzi Dame. I felt like she was showcased pretty well in this match. Somebody I normally don't see. But of course, Thea Hale was pretty much leading her squad while pretty much Jacy Jayne was leading her squad. But it was good back and forth action. But Thea Hale got the submission victory on Izzi Dame, getting her to tap out to the Kimura lock. That's been her finisher, her submission finisher. But yeah, Thea Hale, Kelani Jordan, Fallon Henley pick up the victory, but would like to continue to see the women's division showcased, just in good habit with NXT. But so far, so good. All right. We're going to continue on with the ladies as we move on to our next match. We had the NXT Women's Championship on the line as the champion, Lyra Valkyria, defended against Roxanne Perez. Definitely a solid match between both ladies. We know that Lyra wasn't 100%, and I like how they played that off in this match. But, it was back and forth. It was a great match. Lyra Valkyria showed a lot of fighting spirit. Tatum Paxley tried to interfere, but it backfired. Didn't really work for her. And when it all came down to it, Roxanne Perez was able to take advantage and not pin her with the pop rocks, but actually got Lyra to submit to a crossface, which it took a few attempts. But once she was able to take advantage after the failed interference from Tatum Paxley, it was pretty much a wrap. Lyra tried to hold on as long as she could, but eventually did tap out, with the bad arm and everything. And there you go. Roxanne Perez is now a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. She has now won back the title that she originally never lost. So, congratulations to Roxanne Perez. And, we'll see what happens going from there. And apparently on NXT, Tatum Paxley turned on Lyra Valkyria. So, we'll have to see how that develops going forward. But yeah, Roxanne's got the belt back, so we'll see what kind of run she has now that she's on a heel run. All right. Next match. We have the NXT Championship on the line. As the champion, the Mad Dragon, Ilja Dragunov, defended against Tony D'Angelo. Another good, solid match between these two. Channing Stacks Lorenzo tried his best to help out Tony D'Angelo, you know, some brass nuts, tried to interfere and whatnot, but Tony D was like, nah, not gonna do it that way. I'm gonna do it on my own, I'm gonna do it the legit way. And you know, he came close. He definitely came close. Like I said, it was a good back and forth, hard-hitting match. But Ilja Dragunov was able to put away Tony D'Angelo after a super H-bomb, which, man, he really puts a lot of oomph into those H-bombs, whether it's a regular one or a super one. Whether it's in the ring or outside the ring on the announce table, it doesn't really matter. But super H-bomb put away Tony D'Angelo, pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. And Ilja Dragunov, still your NXT champion. So, definitely enjoyed that match. And then the main event came down to these two brothers going at it. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes was the main event of Stand and Deliver. Overall, good storytelling with this match. Definitely everybody was on the side of Trick Williams. And, you know, which Trick, he's a Philadelphia native, if I remember correctly. I believe they said he was a Philadelphia native. But crowd was definitely on Trick Williams' side. And, you know, showed a lot of fighting spirit. And he really hung in there. Really hung in there. And Carmelo Hayes had his moments as well, of course, as the heel. But Trick Williams was actually able to, out of nowhere, connect with a trick knee on Carmelo Hayes and pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. And the crowd went insane as Trick Williams picked up the victory in the main event of Stand and Deliver. So, really great finish. I mean, it was pretty cool that they pulled the trigger on that. Because there's a lot. Word is that Carmelo Hayes eventually is going to get called up full-time to the main roster, which I believe he's SmackDown, if I remember correctly. But it looks like they're still keeping this going for a little bit, because actually on NXT, Carmelo attacked Ilja and Trick after Trick challenged Ilja for a shot at the NXT title, which will happen at NXT Spring Break-In, which I believe is in 2 weeks. So it definitely looks like it's not quite over yet between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. Not to mention, Carmelo, at the end of that show, challenged Trick Williams for next week, but in a steel cage. He wants him in a steel cage. Whew. That's gotta be big. That's gotta be really big. But two other things that came about. Former Stardom superstar Julia was spotted in the crowd, front row, as well as William Regal and Rossy Ogawa. Oh yeah. Showed the camera on all three. Camera zoomed in on Julia. And there's a picture all over the internet with Julia and Triple H handshake. So it looks like indeed it is official that Julia has signed with the WWE. And word is that she is getting paid a lot more money than AEW probably could have offered her. So I found that pretty interesting. But it's official. Julia signed to WWE. Now with Rossy Ogawa there as well, there are rumors that Rossy's promotion could end up being a tie-in with WWE, or it could end up turning into some sort of collaboration partnership with WWE. We'll have to wait and see when more details surface, which more details are supposed to surface this month, like either the middle of this month or later this month. But I'll keep an eye out. Yeah, let's keep an eye out because it could be some really big details, some really big news. And then the other big piece of news that General Manager of NXT Ava Raine revealed, NXT is getting a new championship belt in the form of an NXT Women's North American Championship. So there you go. NXT is getting a mid-card title for the ladies. So pretty much it's the North American Championship, but the belt color is white instead of that reddish color. But yeah, so the women are getting a mid-card title on NXT. And you know what? I think it's awesome because I think the NXT women's division is pretty loaded. And I think there's a lot of ladies there that could definitely compete for that title. I still think I wish they would have done something like that on the main roster. But this is a start. This is a start. Because I really feel like they've done a good job with the ladies in NXT. So this is a start. Now it just makes me wonder, I guess they're going to do a tournament for this title. So we'll have to wait and see. They haven't revealed any details yet. We don't even know who all will be competing for it, but I hope it'll be as many as possible, especially as many as possible that don't currently hold gold. But looking forward to it. But yeah, that'll do it for this review. Don't forget to check out Game Beauty. And also, let me know what y'all thought about NXT Stand and Deliver 2024. I thought it was a good, solid show. Thought the matches overall were great. And yeah, let me know what your favorite matches were. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all in the next video and or live stream. Peace.